coming to the last question, I talk about that Indian independence is as it is made, that it has been a one man, thing. But a lot of people have been involved in it. And especially from Haryana also, a lot of people, especially revolutionaries, be it 1857's first war of independence or the total war of independence as we see. But again, they have not got their due share in history. So you have covered a lot of those heroes in your books. So please tell us about that, sir.
Yes. So the moment you started, the first incident that crossed my mind was what Professor K.C. Yadav says. There's a common idea that the first war of independence was fought or that began in Meerut. But 9 hours prior to it, the first, battle on those lines started in Ambala. Ambala was a prominent cantonment, and it still is a prominent cantonment. The British had shifted that cantonment from Karnal, and Ambala was back then, where a lot of these British forces, they were, staying there. And 9 hours before Meerut, Ambala became the center where the, first war of independence started. However, uh, as a consequence of the first war of independence and as a consequence of Haryana's role during those years, or during that phase, the region of Haryana was clubbed with Punjab. However, from there on, from 1857 to 1947, Haryana's role has been second to none. During our freedom struggle. In fact, I find it rather amusing that for some reason, Lala Lajpat Rai, who was a prominent politician and has been active in the region of Hisar, is only remembered through a university which was recently named in his in his remembrance. Lala Lajpat Rai was just among one among many who have, in a certain sense, impacted or played a role. One of the first congressmen uh, were Lala Murlidhar. Then there was Munshi Jwala Prasad. There was Baba Bal Mukund Gupta from Gudiani village. All these were in the first Congress session in 1885. Uh, Out of the three people representing Punjab, two were from Haryana region. Then in 1886, three delegates from Haryana represented. Then, and in fact, these were those people who would, often raise their voices against this copying of or this emulating of English practices of imperial, pomp and grandeur that, in fact, many people post-independence also continued those practices. But of course, Lala Murtidhar and people like him objected to that. Then a critical role, of course, by Sir Chotu Ram. In fact, Chotu Ram is remembered in the state till date as the messiah of farmers. His role, both as earlier as a congressman and then as a unionist leader, was able to control communalization or communalism in Haryana, and then his role in ensuring that the farmers get their due is quite incredible. In fact, I make a list of this in my book too, um, where I tell about different contributions. In fact, so Punjab Regulation of Accounts Act, Punjab Relief of Indebtedness Act, Punjab Debtors Protection Act, Punjab Registration of Money Lenders Act, Punjab Restitution of Mortgage Lands, Punjab Agricultural Produce Marketing Act, Punjab Weights and Measures Act, Punjab Amendments to Punjab Alienation of Lands Act, all those things. Incredible work was done by Sir Chotu Ram. Then there was, of course, Seth Chajuram, who was a prominent, who used to fund a lot of these underground activities too. In fact, it said that after, the event, after Bhagat Singh shot Saunders in Lahore, he, reached Kolkata, and where he stayed was one of the kothis or one of the residents of Seth Chajuram, who started from a village in Haryana and ended up becoming one of the big states and the most prominent states in Kolkata. It is said at one point that he was the jute king. He would decide, he would dominate the market of jute. And another thing that this reminds me of, so Chotu Ram, in fact, is credited with one of the with the with the idea of the Peasants Welfare Fund. The fund actually helped Pakistan on the first its first Nobel Prize.
Salam.
It's an interesting story, yes. And then, of course, political institutions soon started to take shape in Haryana, thanks to all of these things that are happening. So yes, a lot of people played immense role, both from a revolutionary point of view, then of course from Home Rule League. Home Rule League was a very popular movement in the 1910s, before the end of during that phase of First World War, and Pandit Nekiram was a very popular, or a very big leader during that struggle. So of course, numerous things which I discuss in the book also, and I hope your readers and your viewers enjoy reading this book.
Yes, sir, they definitely will. And I mean, this was for a surprise for me also to know that I came to know it from your book only, that a movement started before Meerut in Ambala. I mean, this was quite surprising. It came as a surprise for me. I mean, I always had that idea that it started all from Meerut. Well, but that's all about that. That is only the thing about books. I mean, a lot of research comes in and comes out, and then we get to know more things.